Today our topic is Purloined letter by Edgar Allan Poe, 1844. So this is a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, and it's a kind of detective short story and summary. The Purloined letter considered this finest, and this is particularly due to the fact there are no Gothic elements, but more importantly, this is a story that employs the most effectively the principle of the radio initiation, and this story brilliantly illustrates the concept of initiative intellect artwork as it solves the problem logically. In this story, the problem is solved logically. The Purloined letter emphasizes several devices from Purloined letter emphasizes the several devices. It emphasizes the several devices from the murder of Rumok and adds several others. The story is divided into two parts. The story is divided into two parts. The first part, there are two parts in this story. The first part, Monsieur G. Monsieur G was the perfect police, or the French police in Paris, who visits Dupin with a problem. He visited Dupin. If he was the French police with a problem, he visits to a detective named Dupin with a problem. And the story goes on. When Dupin visited with a problem to Monsieur G, later has been stolen and is being used to blackmail the person from whom it was stolen, and from the person it was stolen from a lady, and the lady was blackmailed by the person. The thief is known as Mr. D. The problem is to retrieve the letter. Problem is to recover or find the letter. So the perfect has searched, and the perfect here, the police has searched Mr. D's home or apartment thoroughly. The police, Monsieur G, are even taking the furniture apart, and he searched the furniture too. He and his men have found nothing. He and his men found nothing. The French police, Dupin's advice is that they thoroughly researched the house. A month later, Monsieur G returns having found nothing, but then during the search he visited to Monsieur G, the French police, the Monsieur G visited to Mr. D. But then a month later, Monsieur G returns having found nothing. So a lady possessed a letter that could harm. A lady possessed a letter. The lady possessed the letter who which can harm the man's reputation. Or yeah, so then the lady went to Monsieur G, the French police, the apartment, and then Monsieur G visited to Dupin. And the second half of Purloined letters consists of Dupin's explanation. And the second half here consists of Dupin's explanation to his chronicler of how he obtained the letter, or how he obtained the letter. Beyond the theft, Dupin introduced the method of psychological deduction. Dupin here told the police to investigate psychological, or notice the psychological view. Okay. Then he revised what he knew about the case. Then he revised what he knew about the case. And then Dupin tried to reconstruct the minister's thinking. Dupin and visited the Minister D's apartment and tried to reconstruct the case, reconstruct Minister D's thinking, to deciding that he would very likely have hidden the letter in plain sight, and he decided, Dupin decided that Mr. D very likely hidden the letter in a plain sight. Dupin asks whether the police have searched Mr. D's residence, arguing that the power of the letter derives from its being readily available. It must be his apartment, but Dupin was quite sure that the letter should be in his apartment. The perfect response that they have searched the minister's residence, have not collected the letter. But the perfect response that the police response that they have searched the minister's residence, but have not collected the letter, but they have not found the letter. So, if the case is right, he gets one of the toys. Then, Dupin plays a game where if the guess is right, he gets one of the toys, and if the guess is wrong, so he will lose a toy of his own. The boy faces Dupin then argues that Monsieur D is intelligent, as Dupin knew Mr. D before, to familiar with him, and caught not to hide the nooks and the crannies of his apparent, and exactly where the police first investigate. So he was clever. According to Dupin's logic, the names to find are actually those that stretch broadly across the map because they are so obvious. So with this game of mind, Dupin played a game of mind, and with this game of mind, Dupin recounts the visit he made to Minster apartment. Dupin visited to Minster apartment, and after surviving his Minster residence, Dupin then notices a group of visiting guards. Dupin then noticed a group of visiting guards hanging from the masterpiece. Then Dupin notices a group of cards. Uh, after and a letter was different exterior than that previously described by the perfect. So Dupin becomes sure that it was a stolen document. Then Dupin notices Du- Sorry, Dupin notices a letter which was of different exterior. Dupin becomes sure that it was a stolen document. Then Dupin became sure that it was a stolen letter. He purposely leaves behind his snuff box. Uh, then Dupin visited the apartment the next day, and he purposely left behind a snuff box. When he goes back the next morning to receive it, uh, when he went the next morning to the apartment to receive it, so he arranges for someone to make a commotion. When the minister did, then he arranged a plan. Or when the minister D rushes to the window, when Minister D rushes to the window, and the investigate the noise. They investigate the noise. Dupin replaced the stolen letter with the fake, and Dupin replaced the stolen letter with the fake letter. Dupin remarks that the minister once wronged. Dupin then remarked that the minister once wronged him in Venia. So Dupin told the French police that he knew Mr. D before, and Mr. D thought himself as the intelligent or clever. So inside the fake letter, Dupin wanted to harass Mr. D. So inside the fake letter, Dupin inscribes a French poem and that translates in English. So baneful a scheme and of not worthy of Artus, it is worthy of theists. So thus the later was the document was recovered by Dupin.